Jody, my man, here we go. I got a good one cooking up here for you, pal. And same format, warm up, and then work session. As many sets of the work session as you can get in 12 minutes. I recommend that you take at least 5 minutes for this warm up. We are going to begin with some good mornings, foundation training good mornings. We're going to get into a bear crawl, after which we're going to work on some chest opening, like dynamic chest opening stuff, followed by, last but not least, some ankle mobility, some hip mobility, and then we'll be good to go, man. Kicking it off here, remember the good mornings. So good mornings are waking up that posterior chain. Side profile, first cue is knees over the ankles, so they want to kick them back. Nice bright lower ribs stacked up nice and tall, keeping that length through the series. We're going to go for 15 good mornings. That last one, feel free to find a nice forward fold, soft knees. I always like to try and do a little side bending. I find it's really nice side bend, find the obliques in that forward fold. Really hang the head. Alright, so we said good morning to those hamstrings. Now let's do a little bit of dynamic bear crawl. Begin waking it up even more. I know you're limited in space in the garage, so just find a little loop that you can do in. Go for a good 20, 30 seconds of bear crawl. Now this next one, Jody, I haven't showed you yet. So I've been working on it myself to correct some postural stuff. We all have that forward leaning thing after years and years of core movement practice. So this is a postural exercise that I've been working into my AM and PM routine, and I really like it. So it's done on the ground in sort of a fetal position. The trick is to keep the top knee stacked on top of the bottom knee. In doing so, you keep the pelvis in line. You're gonna bring your arms out forward, and then on an inhale, come up. Now the goal for the rest of the exercise is to keep the arm in line with the torso. And on an exhale, come back. That's one set. We're going to do 5. 1 rep, we're going to do 5 on each side. Make sure you don't let that top knee slip it all past the bottom knee. Last up, some hip, ankle flexion. So what I recommend is rotating between plantar and dorsiflexion a few times, holding each position, for no more than a couple of seconds by bringing the torso up over the back of the ankles. You can really open up that front body a bunch more. Having gotten to those ankles, let's get into the hips a little bit. Windshield wipering the hips. Oh, that feels good. Yeah, brother. The only thing else I'd say, if you're not feeling totally warm after that, is you could throw in another set of bear crawl, or grab your kettlebell and just do a hot lap around the block. If you want to get a little bit more of a gleam on before you start your work session. Okay, brother. Here we go for our work session. So again, we got 5 exercises. We're going to begin with a squat, deep squat to an overhead press. I'm going to suggest we go for 20 repetitions of that, followed by a nice long hollow body hold. Active recovery after our squat to presses. Next up, we're going to move into some chin-ups. Make use of that nice new bar of yours. In those chin-ups, remember we want to find nice full extension, all the way down to a passive hang before coming back in. Followed by, I'm blanking. I got it. Followed by our swings. Nice kettlebell swings. Finding those hip thrusts. And then last but not least, we're coming into some push-ups. So again, this is a work session, 12 minutes, as many sets of those 5 exercises as you can get in. Really focus on your breathing in that active recovery in the hollow body hold. And again, we're looking for technique in all of these exercises, man. So if you find yourself being exhausted, just lessen the number of repetitions. Just really keep hold of that form. In your squats, Jody, remember, if you need anything underneath those heels, I do recommend that you do this one barefooted. But we want to be keeping that nice, don't break the neck, keep that chin and eyes gazing at sort of a 45-degree angle down, and then keep that bell nice and tight to the chest, like our goblet squats that we did. And then as you press, make sure that that bell is sort of right up and down so that it extends right down the line of your spine. Hollow body hold, you know this exercise, man. Again, just really focus on your breathing. And because that exercise can be customized, you know, from hard to easy just by the angle of your legs, you can really gauge your recovery based on your position. Your chin-ups, again, we're going for form here. If you can't get a full repetition in, hanging in a passive hang is totally fair game. Go to passive hang until failure. Next up, your kettlebell swings. This is, you know, it's a pretty advanced exercise, and I know we haven't done too many of them. So the thrust is really generated in the hips. Ideally, the arms are really passive. So that first thrust sort of has to be a little bigger to get the bell going. And I'm really accentuating that hip thrust right now. But it's all generated at the hips. It's a glute and posterior chain exercise. I recommend that you do this with your 25-pound bell. I've got a 35-pound here today, which would be a great addition to your lineup. to get a stepping stone into that 45. Yeah, kettlebell swings though, I suggest that we go for 20 or 25 repetitions of those. Next up into our push-ups. Again, here's an exercise that we can customize based on our level of fatigue. So let's say that we're going for 20 repetitions in our push-ups. And again, push-ups I like to see are no more than shoulder width apart. Really making sure that that butt doesn't drop at all, and that you're firing energy out your ankles, out your heels, making sure that those legs are nice and firm out the back. And then if need be, in those later sets, you can drop the knees. Another thing I like to do, Jody, is if I'm reaching fatigue in a narrow stance push-up, and I'm reaching fatigue and I'm struggling, I often find I can get a couple more repetitions by coming out a little bit wider and recruiting different musculature in the chest and in the back. So I recommend that you try that technique out. Okay, brother, that's the intro, and then this next clip I'm just going to run through one full set, and then I'll try and loop the video a few times, because this guy's got to go and buck up an entire forest full of wood today, and this has been a nice warm-up, but that's all I need. All right, legend, be well, chat soon. All right, Jody, here we go, man. We're going for 20 squat to overhead presses. Keeping that bell nice and close to the chest. Two more. Straight into our hollow body holds. Again, just quickly, man, cater this exercise as much as need be, because this is your active recovery. Okay, I'm gonna go grab that chin-up bar. So 5 nice deep repetitions. Okay, brother. So 15 nice tight kettlebell swings. Remember, it's all in that hip thrust. Start with the bell nice and far out as you just lean back. That's going to initiate that first thrust. Nice and explosive. Arms are passive. so explosive I went full lion's mane there. Okay brother, straight into 15 nice tight push-ups. Okay man, so yeah, we decreased that repetition by about 25%. Feel free to do the same thing for that squat and overhead press that we began with. I would say try and keep the 5 chin-ups and go for roughly a minute hollow body hold still. This guy didn't hit record on his first set, so thanks for getting me to do 2 sets with you, man. Okay buddy, be well, chat soon. And dude, I should probably give you a quick tour of the bounty here. So these are the raised beds that we put in. Went with nice cedar, raw, rough cut cedar. Cedars apparently last like 2-3 times as long as longer than the other softwoods on account of the essential oils in it. They're like antimicrobial, so they don't break down as quick. So here we got a bunch of lettuces and parsley and cilantro. This cucumber, this English cucumber, we've already pulled like 6 or 7 big honking cukes out of this thing. Parsley for days. And then herb gardens. So we got our rosemaries, our thymes, our sages, more parsley, fennel and dill, tarragon. Yeah, all sorts of good stuff. And then ye old butternut squash plant. Look at the size of these things. This is pretty exciting. Looking forward to freezing a bunch of butternut squash soup before we go away to Mexico. And then this was all basil. We just trimmed it back like a week and a half ago. We've got like 3 big Ziplocs of basil in the freezer. And down here in Tomato Town, I planted these all too late, I'm afraid. So I'm really hoping we at least get a couple of them to green up, or red up rather. Because these peppers, man, I planted these really early, or I had them in a pot before they got in the garden. It is a really, really nice pepper, and they are delicious. And then here we've got all our berries, more lettuces. That's my second batch of lettuce in that garden. And then we've got blueberries, raspberries, and then more blueberries and raspberries down there. But unfortunately the deer got in, as you can see, and absolutely decimated the strawberries and the berries. They clearly have a taste for the sweet stuff, just like the rest of us. Okay, dude. Yeah, looking forward to our chat, man. Until then, Black Creek out.